Hello, welcome today. We are going to prepare an assessment matrix, an assessment risk matrix, and we have an example one here. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how we read it as I have already prepared it for you. So at the far right side, we have the assessment matrix table. And it represents the likelihood of that risk happening and the severity of that risk. So on the side of the likelihood, we have very likely to happen, possible, and unlikely. For very likely, we have 3, we have signed it on a factor of 3, possible a factor of 2, and unlikely a factor of 1. For major injury, we have a factor of 3, minor injury, factor of 2, and trivial, a factor of 1. So how do you assess how a risk is to happen? For example, if that risk would cause major injury to someone, we will assign it a factor of 3. And if that risk is very likely to happen, we assign it a factor of 3. Then you multiply the 2 and you get that risk demonstrates that it's a very high risk because it gets a factor of 9. For very low risk, it comes at a trivial on the severity side, and unlikely it becomes unlikely. So it gets a factor of 1, showing that it is very, it's not a high risk. So for us here, we have one task that we are going to carry out to show how the risk was factored in and how we rectified it. So the name of the task is material testing, and students are carrying out tests in the laboratory, the risk they are about to encounter. So one of the hazards likely to happen is crushing injuries. Students can have their fingers crushed as they are operating those machines. And the severity of that is very severe. It's 3, and the likelihood of happening, it's also very likely to happen, so that we give it a 2. So the score for that risk is 6. But when we provide control measures, like the students having protective equipment and like gloves and safety boots for protection from those crashing risks, we minimize the severity, and we also, but the likelihood will still remain. So that gives us a factor of 2, because the severity now drops to trivial, because now they won't be injured, they won't have severe injuries, but the possibility still remains. So that gives us a risk of 2. Thank you. That's how we do an assessment matrix. Thank you so much.